Hello, this is just me again. I haven't done a video like this in a while. This is a bit of a different one again. I'm just going to show you this magazine from summer 1980. Um, why do I have an in-flight magazine from summer 1980? Because a couple of years ago, my granddad passed away. We went round his house to collect a few things, and it was the case of like, oh, if you want something, just take it, sort of thing. And I don't know, I picked up a Harrods bag, which he must have used as a hand luggage because it had this magazine in it. And I thought, oh, it'd be quite interesting just to go through an old in-flight magazine from a airline service called Dan Air, which I don't think's around now. I mean, if you want to have a look into it, you can see what happened with Dan Air. It's obviously kind of a play on like things like Pan Am, and I think you get things like, you know, all these airlines with air in the title. I don't really know about aviation or commercial aviation, so I won't pretend I will. But basically, here it is. So the front cover, flying to the 80s. Ooh, well, I was born in '88, so I don't really know what to expect from that. And it advertises Norway summer and winter. So if you don't want to go into Norway in the summer, you can go in the winter if you want to. Queen Elizabeth Keys, right? Okay, holiday eating. Well, you know we all eat on holidays, so why not? And perfume, which it's what you get in the airport, isn't it? So, yeah, let's see what's on the first page. And mind you, I have to say I have had a flick through. It's not so much the content, but the advertisements that are quite interesting in this magazine. So let's look at the first one as soon as you open it. So you've got Rothman's King Size. You don't see cigarette adverts these days, do you? World leader, Rothman's King Size. So yeah, best tobacco money can buy. Bright, full, rich tobacco, grown and cured. Great tobacco land selected in infinite care. Cigarette made by craftsmen. Most exacting standards. Okay. People don't, buy well, they do buy cigarettes, but people don't describe cigarettes in that way these days. So I thought that was quite weird. And at the bottom there, you can see Toblerone. A staple of airports and airlines forever. Basically, Toblerone. I'm assuming that's the pre-Brexit Toblerone, where it has the full triangles in there. So, this bar will be opening soon. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Do you get it? Because, they used to have bars on aeroplanes. Never mind. Ask for a bar of delicious Toblerone during your flight. I don't see why not. So all this boring stuff here is all about the printers and editors and stuff. Contents page. I mean, do you really pay attention to contents page in a in-flight magazine? I don't think so. Anyway, so we've got your perfume ad, you've got your pen ad. That's not the bit that I'm concerned with here. It's the bit with this here where it's just saying welcome aboard, and it tells you things about what happens during the takeoff and landing, which is good because with some people, especially in 1980, flying would have been quite a new thing to some people. So it's quite good. But the bit that really amuses me is this bit here that says the stewardesses. I'll do that basically. Whatever you do during your journey, ask your stewardess. Now the word stewardess is ringing bells already, and you can already see already. It says she is one of over 600 girls. Right, no male stewards or stewardesses in those days then. All carefully trained in first aid, cabin service on board, every aspect of safety and air and customs regulations. Whereas with Dan Air flights, also advise you with immigration procedures. Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, obviously there's all female members of staff there. I mean, obviously you can get male ones now. It's a little bit sexist, but not too much, I suppose, for that time. And then they've got things like this. Above your head is a panel with a louvres, what? And a reading light, and a button to call your stewardess. Toilet facilities are available. Really? I should hope so. Drinks are served on all flights, duty free on international routes. Details are allowed on this, and bar tariff is in your seat pocket, so you get your bar. I mean, obviously they still do that, bring drinks around like that, but you don't have like packs of cigs and stuff. I'm guessing at this time you could still smoke on flights, which is just grim. Right, and now we've got another whiskey advert here. So, bottled in Scotland for the world to enjoy. Right. It's Antiquae, which is still around now. VAT 69, I don't know if that one's still around. But yeah, so that's the first thing. And then it's got the French and the German version of what you've just read. Nothing really to say here, apart from the fact that it's got like the nice Bon Voyage and Gutteries, whatever that says. And we'll go on the next one. I've got more perfume adverts. Home of Fragrance. Oh, some great photography there. I'm being sarcastic if you didn't realise. And some pictures of flowers. Very 80s that is, or very 70s really. But this is pretty boring stuff. Essential oils. It's all like fruity language about things. Imagine being a commercial magazine writer in the 80s, Jesus, or in the late 70s. That would have been absolutely boring, Jesus. And then we've got another perfume advert, more perfume nonsense there. Cleanliness, you know, just in case you didn't realise it was as keen and clean. Sorry, I'm stuttering a bit. It's just trying to film and turn the magazine at the same time. And then we've got more whiskey adverts from the House of Bells, Scotland's #1 Scotch whisky. Really? And then Dufftown Glenlivet Pure Malt. Well, that's still around, and well, Bells is still around, but I wouldn't think Bells is Scotland's #1 whisky. Well, maybe it was in 1980, but in 2019, some would disagree. Well, I'll tell somebody that next time, because I'll sell alcohol to people. So if somebody asks me, I'll just say, well, it was Scotland's #1 whisky at one point. And then we've got Ballantine's. Again, another blended Scotch whisky. The more you know about Scotch, the more you like Ballantine's. Really? Well, actually, that won Whisky of the Year once, so quite recently, actually. I think 2010, maybe. So I'm not going to dwell on that too much. And I don't know what this is from. This is just like a random bit of article about like the plane. So boring. Look at all that text. Horrible. Imagine if you did that in university these days, you would get marked down for it. And then we've got another whiskey advert. Haig, the name for Scotch over the world. What a terrible advert that is. It just shows you how long Haig Club's been around. People think it's a new thing, and David Beckham invented it, but obviously not. And this bit is holiday eating. So you've got some woman with a headscarf on there. Mary Berry. Oh, Mary Berry. I've just realised that it's Mary Berry, as in Great British Bake Off. Oh, well, there you go, Mary Berry. She wore headscarves even when she was slightly younger. Excuse me. But basically, at the time, Mary Berry, Thames Television's afternoon programme cooking expert, okay, cookery consultant to Home and Freezer Digest. Now that sounds like an enthralling magazine. Say that it's fun and cheaper to cook and eat as the locals do, even for the insular British. Oh, well, look at that, why don't you? Yes, so you've got picnic food and that. I haven't read this properly, but actually, really, it's Mary Berry, isn't it? You know, God, just the woman. And then we've got Winterman Cigars advert, looking quite good, and Glavar, which is still around today, I know, and the cigarette tin. Yeah, great. Again, there's not really much else to say about that, because it's still got Mary Berry's recommendations for picnics and stuff on there. And then another huge cigarette advert. Okay, and then we've got boring stuff about aeroplanes and airlines. Imagine reading this in a flight, you'll be bored off your tits, wouldn't you? And then you've got you've got like a map of where all the Danair. I'm guessing Ryanair took over this because it looks the same. So you've got Newcastle Teesside. Oh, I didn't realise that was the furthest north airport at the time. Oh well, never mind. Boring. More boring stuff. These are because it's quite old. It's quite hard to turn the page with one hand. Excuse me. I think that's it. And then another. Oh, it's a brandy advert this time, Hein. But you can't really see unless you read the small writing that says Hein, Connoisseur's Choice, in a really hard to read font. France, that one's out of towns in France. Let's see, Toulouse-Lautrec. Right. Okay. Black Madonna, which is weird, and again more cigar adverts. That looks alright. In France, actually, it's probably nicer these days, but that's alright, doesn't it? And then another one, to White Horse and Logan. I've never heard of them before, so you must be able to get them. Hamlet Cigars. And then this, the Queen Elizabeth Keys. Where's that? In London? Right. Why? Right. If you're flying from England, why do you want to know about what's happening in England? And this thing here, this boring, like, textbook-esque diagram. Jeez. And then another whiskey advert. Johnny Walker. A guy dressed up as Johnny Walker isn't in the aeroplane. And look at this Noel Edmonds looking mofo in the background. Jesus. And then more brandy, black and white whiskey. I've never heard of that. Beefeater gin. God, it's all alcohol. I know it's an Inflight magazine, but it's just all alcohol and cigar. White Mackay Dalmore, which is actually a really nice whiskey these days. Oh, Gaslighter. That's a perfume, so that up. And you've got more of these things. And then the Young Travellers page. Alright, so if you're born out your mind by that, you can play the games on the Young Travellers page. Imagine being a kid getting this. Gordon Bennett. So then it even says Eve Brunwell's written a craft book for children. So it's done by somebody especially who does children's puzzles. Some watches. Massive Marlborough thing there. Duty free shopping guide. It's all about blooming duty free. I know that's no surprise, but it's just all drink, smoking. And then Gordon's Dry Gin, which looks totally different these days. Glenfiddich, which is still around again. And so let's see what's on the back. Oh, cigarettes again. Right, okay. So that's just a quick flick through the Dana In-Flight magazine from summer 2000 in 1980. Yeah, I hope this has been an educational one for you. Yeah, it's definitely been one for me. Just how much people smoked and drank in those days, really. This is more of just a practice video, really, so sorry if it's a bit boring. Just experimenting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do. And I'll see you next time.